Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the KDPG Sunday Edition. I'm Ken Rice. With the end of the regular NFL football season, we're now being seen each Sunday morning at 11:30. Please make a note of it. Pittsburgh has made the list of 20 finalists for the Amazon HQ2. The Pittsburgh region is facing some fierce competitors like Atlanta, Washington, D.C., Boston, San Francisco, L.A., Philadelphia. But local businesses and political leaders are celebrating the fact that we've made it this far. And as KDKA's Paul Martino reports, they're ready to take the next steps in this contest with such high stakes.
Something going on this morning that we need to know about?
The city's politicians couldn't hold back their grins Thursday when we learned that Pittsburgh's a finalist for a big sweepstakes. Amazon Headquarters 2, a $5 billion investment, a chance for 50,000 jobs.
This is a proud day for Pittsburgh, Western Pennsylvania, the whole region.
Look who the finalists are. Mostly cities in the Midwest and Northeast. There are a few from out west where Amazon has its main headquarters in Seattle. And there's a few Rust Belt cities like Pittsburgh. And by the way, Philly's on the list too. Mayor Peduto says landing on this list showcases Pittsburgh's efforts to rise from the ashes of the collapse of the steel industry.
When a city was facing its most difficult days, we still built skyscrapers. We invested in the arts. We built riverfront trails. We invested in a community knowing that in the future it had the potential to come back.
While the city's proposal remains confidential, some of the sites believed to be under consideration are the old J&L Mill site in Hazelwood, which is ready for development right now.
It means we have neighborhoods that have seen absolutely no development in 50 years, seeing opportunities for the first time.
Paul Martino, KDKA-TV News.
This morning on the KDPG Sunday Edition, an in-depth look at the battle to win Amazon HQ2. What would it mean for this area? What are our own pluses and minuses in this tough competition? A little later, we'll hear from Audrey Russo, President and CEO of the Pittsburgh Technology Council, and Jennifer Beam, editor of the Pittsburgh Business Times. But right now, the Amazon headquarters contest through the eyes of three people who have been part of the community effort to bring HQ2 here. Stephanie Pashman is Chief Executive Officer of the Allegheny Conference on Community Development. Jennifer Liptak is Chief of Staff for Allegheny County Executive Rich Fitzgerald, and Dan Gilman, Chief of Staff for Pittsburgh Mayor Bill Peduto. David Tribben, Executive Editor of the Post-Gazette, joins us. Nice to have you here, David. Welcome to all of you, and I guess congratulations so far, right? Are we celebrating? How do we feel about this? Stephanie, let me start with you.
It's a great day for the region. We should really be proud of how far we've come over the last 20 and 30 years, that we could be acknowledged in the top 10% of cities by such a large corporation for an opportunity. So we're absolutely celebrating, but we're rolling up our sleeves and we're working on it.
So what happens now? Well, first of all, do we have any idea where we are in the 20?
No. It's our understanding that this is an unranked list, but we'll get a cue from Amazon soon in terms of what they're looking for from Pittsburgh, and we'll be ready to deliver.
Did you know there would be a top 20?
We knew there would be a short list, and as the proposals went into 238, it was our understanding it would be a little bit longer than we initially thought, given the number of applications that went in.
Okay, and do you expect it's going to be whittled down to an even shorter list?
We don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Amazon is playing this out like an amazing race in the press, and we're following it as closely as you are. So we don't know what's going to happen next.
Jennifer Liptak, let me ask you, what happens now from the county executive office's standpoint? What are the next steps?
Well, as Stephanie's indicated, we have been working on this since we got notice of the basically request for proposals. We've been meeting regularly. We've established a group of a vast majority of people within the community, philanthropic community leaders, government, business, corporate, and we're trying to basically provide an opportunity for us to move forward in the competition while also measuring our competitors. We don't want to get into we're better than them here, we're better than there, but we need to stand out in some way, and I think working together with all the aspects we have in our community, we'll be able to do that.
Dan Gilman, which of our competitors concerns you most?
I don't think there's any one, because it's hard to understand necessarily what Amazon's looking for. And if you look at the list of cities, you have Canada versus the United States. You have major cities like Los Angeles, New York. You have smaller cities like Pittsburgh. You have different time zones. So there's factors that make it really impossible to compare what might be in their mind as the top priorities. But I think no one can beat us in a couple critical areas, and that's the quality of life, the affordability for people to live here, and the second is talent. I mean, what's coming out of our universities every year? I think we are at the top of the list with any city in America on those two areas.
The Boston Globe on Friday had a front page story criticizing Boston's leadership for not working together well enough on Amazon. Is that So that's not a problem here, or is it?
And I was going to say, adding to Dan's list of what we really have to offer, I think our special sauce is actually the collaboration that takes place in everything we do in Pittsburgh. But this Amazon opportunity really brought together actually 400 community leaders and partners to put forward the best face we could for Pittsburgh.
So collaboration is what the Allegheny Conference is all about.
Exactly.
For those who are unfamiliar, what is the Allegheny Conference? Who is part of it, and what is its mission?
Sure. The Allegheny Conference is a nearly 75-year-old civic leadership organization that was founded after World War II to help solve community problems, with a table that included public sector, private sector, now philanthropic leaders, and a variety of community organizations. And it's our job to think about what the biggest challenges are to Pittsburgh and to go address them with the right people at the table. We also focus on trying to market the region to bring new business investment into our midst. So what the opportunity for Amazon presents is something that we deal with every single day, trying to recruit new businesses, help existing businesses expand, and make sure that Pittsburgh is the best place to live, work, and play.
I'm curious, did any of you get to put something personal into the bid? You know, sort of like, here's what I think is, you said special sauce, but here's what I think is the best case we can make. Did you get to sort of pursue something that
Actually, not personal, but what was cool about this entire process is I felt like everyone did. I would get calls and emails, or people would grab me in the neighborhood and say, hey, do you know we have this aspect? Make sure you put that in there. There were so many people that were so excited about this project, so I really do feel like we all got a little bit of something special in there. I personally, am I going to say what I pushed for? No, but I do love the chair in our video. It was 100% my favorite part of the whole process. But from a community standpoint, just the excitement that it brought and the working together from not only our city and our county, but the 10-county region through our SPC that we have locally. Everyone wanted to help, and it was really an exciting thing.
Okay, so by announcing 20 finalists, do you think Amazon is saying subtly, okay, we've seen what you've put on the table, what else do you have for us? Now that you're one of the top 20, Pittsburgh, let's get serious. What more can you do to launch yourself over Toronto and Columbus and Raleigh?
I mean, I think they use the term deeper dive in their press release for what they're going to do, and we fully expect they're going to come into town and dig through our application and our bid and ask about things. But I also think they'll be able to say, hey, look, Philly was able to say this, or Washington, D.C. was able to say this. Is that something you'd be able to do in Pittsburgh? So I think our bid is a baseline, but it could change, not just from any sort of incentive aspect, but other quality of life issues, things for their employees, partnership opportunities. I think they'll now look at cities and say, I really like what Pittsburgh has here, but what about this from Atlanta? And we'll be able to redo our bid in a sense to meet those needs.
Now, I hope you'll give a real answer, not a boilerplate answer to this one. What part of your application is the most vulnerable or the least true that you need to spiff up in?
I'm going to start with the least true. We didn't put any fallacies in there. So that was something that was extremely...
the least hyped, how's that?
The least hyped?
Most hyped, I mean.
Go ahead, Stephanie, because I did want to make that point. We put a solid application together, and
we were going to say that, but clearly you know you have vulnerabilities. What are they?
Well, in life we all do, but Stephanie, go ahead.
Well, what are ours?
Sure. I mean, I think what most people are looking at us and saying is they're worried about our transportation infrastructure. And the good thing is that we've been dealing with it since the day the bid went in. We got our flight to Seattle right after we announced the bid. We have a new director of the Port Authority who's coming in and shaking things up and really improving things. And we also have been working, as Jen said, regularly in deep conversations to figure out how we can address our Achilles heel. And I think that might be one of them. And we know that. And it's something that Dan and Jen and I are very, very focused on and have been really trying to make some changes.
Because for all of the spectacle of this slightly unseemly process, the good thing is 238 communities took a look at each other, at themselves, in the past couple of months and created a roadmap to improvement. So what are the roadmaps to improvement we've done besides transport?
I think one of the things that we did that is a roadmap for improvement too is our bid was supported by the region. As far up as Erie, actually wrote a letter of support for the Pittsburgh bid, realizing that Erie was not likely to land it. They wanted to support it regionally. I went and met with Johnstown's Chamber of Commerce to talk about if this were to happen, how would it support the region? So I think one thing is more of a regionalism roadmap to economic development than has existed in a long time. I actually emailed with the mayor of Altoona about things, been meeting with the new mayor in Monessen. I think you're seeing that come out of the Amazon bid, and I think that roadmap's critical for other bids.
It's exactly what I was going to say. So we all identify ourselves as Pittsburghers. I always say I don't live in Shaler or Glenshaw, it's where I live. I always say I'm from Pittsburgh, that's where I live. So the fact, as Dan and Stephanie have indicated, that this is a truly regional, so we have opportunity capacity, not within the confines of the city, but within a 10-county region, I think that does make us stand apart. Now, a lot of people may think, oh, well, it's just Pittsburgh, you're this big. No. We work as a partner, we work together, and that, I think, it does make us stand out.
Well, Ken lives in Mount Lebanon, but his mailing address says Pittsburgh. And this is a very unusual thing.
Exactly.
Exactly, exactly.
The other part about this that I think was pretty remarkable is that this took us not only the opportunity to think about where we may have things to work on, but to inventory all the things that are actually already happening and coming together and realizing that we're working at the community level to address challenges in our education systems, in the workforce, in affordable housing, and all the range of things that are already going on. And just to say that we're really doing this together and remind ourselves that the collaboration that's already existing and the work that's already happening, this is only amping up some of those efforts.
So for those of you, you've been in city government for how many years, Dan?
14 years.
And you've been in government, Jennifer?
It's my 20th year.
Okay, can you remember an occasion when we had a reason to sort of self-assess this way and say, well, where are we? What do we have going for us? What are some of our negatives? And even if we don't end up landing Amazon, we've learned this about ourselves. Can you remember another occasion?
Well, being Pittsburghers, we don't like to gloat. We all know that. We kind of always undersell and over-deliver.
This isn't the time for that, right?
It's not the time for that. So we are having to branch out and do some things we don't normally do, which is try to sell ourselves a little bit more. But what I think has been great about what's been happening here is it's all been organic. We've been named to how many top 10 lists? Everyone around the country is saying Pittsburgh's going to get it. The county executive, he goes to conferences with other county executives. His comrades are grabbing and said, we all know you're going to get it. We all know Pittsburgh's going to get it. And it's not because we're bloating or we're saying we're #1 or we're going to win. It's basically because we're working hard. And that's what Pittsburghers do. We work hard, and that's what they expect government to do. And so we're going to continue to do that.
Cleveland applied but did not make the cut. So Erie's on board. Do you think Cleveland could get on board? Some people look at Cleveland and say there's a region here that could be exploited.
Absolutely.
I think those conversations are important. I mean, you start to look, obviously, kind of the closest neighbors we have are Washington, D.C., actually D.C., Northern Virginia, and Montgomery County, and then obviously Philadelphia. But there's some room as you go west, and I think that does provide an opportunity for us.
Good luck going forward. Keep us posted, all right?
Thank you.
When the KDPG Sunday edition continues, how the battle for the Amazon HQ2 headquarters is playing in Pittsburgh's technology community. We'll be joined by Audrey Russo of the Pittsburgh Technology Council and Jennifer Beam of the Pittsburgh Business Times. We'll be right back.